is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? My name's Tony, aka Star Wars Sith, and welcome to another episode of Sith Talk, where we talk Star Wars news, rumors, and coming soons. Today we have on the show Laney from the Laney Byers Channel. How you doing, Laney?
I'm doing great. I've been so excited to be on this with you. Star Wars Sith is the best, you guys. If you're not subscribed, you already should be. But this
Aw.
podcast, I'm so excited about this podcast, and I'm so just like excited that we get to do this.
Yes, awesome. All right, so tell us a little bit about your channel, what your channel focuses on, and where we can find you at.
Okay, so my channel is just Laney Byers. It's just my name. And you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok right now. And my channel, I really just started off doing reactions, but it's kind of hard to keep up with reactions. As you know, reactions are a lot. It's a lot of editing. So I'm going to be moving into more of like breakdowns of Star Wars episodes and Star Wars TV and everything like that. So I'm going to start moving into that. But I also do Funko Pop hauls. I do all kinds of hauls, like all kinds of Star Wars hauls. And I also do vlogs like, convention vlogs. I do convention vlogs. So yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot more of those this year. We're going to go to so many cons. It's going to be so exciting. But yeah, you can find me anywhere really.
Awesome. So I'll put the link to Laney's channel in the description. Be sure to subscribe. She's almost at 1,000. I think you're like 15 away. So
Yeah,
let's
it's crazy.
try to get her to 1,000 like after this goes live. So yes. All right. So just like every other guest on the show, I have 3 questions for you. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
So the first one is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Okay. So I think about this a lot because I think Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie, but I just have a real soft spot for A New Hope. So my favorite movie is probably still Revenge of the Sith because it's just sick. It's the best. But A
Yeah.
New Hope, I just have like a very strong emotional connection to A New Hope because it's the first one I ever watched and it's just I love it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of exactly the same, like Revenge of the Sith, but like my second favorite is A New Hope, and it's because like that's what started it off for me. Like
Mhm.
I remember seeing that on VHS because my dad had the VHS 3-pack back in the day,
Mhm.
and I remember as a young kid in the early 90s watching that on VHS over and over and
Gosh.
over.
Mhm.
So like The New Hope, like it's always holds a special spot in my heart, like for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So the next one is, what is your favorite Star Wars show out of all the animated live action? Like, what's your like number one show?
Man, okay. I think it's still the Clone Wars. The Clone
Yeah.
Wars really is what kind of blew this whole thing up for me. Like I liked the Star Wars movies before I watched the Clone Wars, but after I watched the Clone Wars, I was like full on obsessed with it and have been obsessed with it ever since I watched the Clone Wars. So that will always be my favorite show, I think. But live action, it's still The Mandalorian
Yeah.
because I feel like it was kind of like the thing that kept Star Wars fans like going after the sequels. You know what I mean? Like The Mandalorian was something that we could all latch onto and absolutely obsess over. But so it's the Clone Wars for sure out of everything, but live action it's The Mandalorian.
Yeah. It's the Clone Wars for me too. And it's just because
Mhm.
like those 7 seasons like add so much depth and enhance the prequels so much
Mhm.
that for me it kind of elevates the prequels being my favorite trilogy. It was the
Mhm.
OG trilogy for the longest, but like animated Clone Wars makes me appreciate the prequels way more
Yes.
just because
Mhm.
there's so much. And now when I watch the prequels, in the back of my mind, I kind of see all those stories and know like other things that
Mhm.
happen behind the scenes. So yeah, Clone Wars definitely is my favorite, but it was because of season 7 that pushed it over. Because like before
Uh-huh.
that, it was Rebels. Because Rebels is
I
so
love
fire.
Rebels. I love Rebels. Anyone that says that they can't watch Rebels because of the animation, I don't know what to tell you because like you Rebels is its own thing. It's I think the animation is unique to it and it
Yeah,
would I like if they made it into like the Clone Wars style, I think it would just be weird at this point because I think it's so good for
yeah,
what it is. So I
and
agree. Rebels is so good.
some of the stories in Rebels, like the Vader and
Yeah.
Ahsoka stuff, the
Mhm.
Maul stuff. Oh, there's just so much.
Oh
So
my gosh, yes. I
yeah.
obsess over Rebels all the time. I think Rebels and the Clone Wars are my most, like, rewatched
Oh
other
yeah, for
than, like,
sure.
animated and I think shows, because I rewatch The Mandalorian a lot, but, like, rewatch the Clone Wars and Rebels, oh my gosh, all the time.
Yeah, no, me too, me too. So the last question is, who is your favorite Star Wars character out of everybody?
Oh, I think about this all the time because I used to make, like, a list because, like, when I would discuss it with other people, I'd be like, "Who's your favorite? Who's your top 10?" And I would try to, like, rank it, and it's so hard for me because it
Yeah.
really depends on, like, your mood and what you're into at the moment, but I think Anakin is still my favorite. So,
Mhm.
it's like Anakin, but recently Ahsoka is really close because she,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like, there's nothing that Ahsoka does that I don't obsess over all the time. So, I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that show. Oh my goodness.
Nice. So for me, it's kind of hard too, because like it depends on my mood, but it's
Mhm.
usually Maul, but it'll fluctuate between Maul, Anakin, and Boba Fett. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's tough. So I think once the Ahsoka show comes out, it might lean more
Mhm.
towards Anakin since I think we're gonna get a lot of Hayden in it.
Yeah, I'm
So
so excited for
yeah,
that.
so it's gonna be super crazy.
Mhm.
So all right, awesome. So I have 5 different articles we're going to take a look at. It's all from
Okay.
the direct, and the first 3 are about the Ahsoka show. So there's a lot of juicy
Awesome.
stuff
Oh
that's
my
been
gosh.
coming out. The third article I think just dropped today or yesterday, and
Mhm.
it'll probably blow your mind, especially because you know Rebels. Yeah.
Yes.
So let me share the screen real quick. All right. So the first article is this one talking about there's something similar to Kylo's armor in Ahsoka. So remember, I
What?
think it was in Rise. You know how his armor was repaired and it had
Mhm.
all the red cracks.
Yep. Mhm.
So I guess when they did that in the movie, it was something called Saracen iron was used to like forge his stuff together, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
in Ahsoka, there's going to be stormtroopers that look just like that. So their armor is going to be repaired, but instead of glowing red, it's going to be glowing like gold. So it'll be all
What?
cracked armor that glows gold. So what do you think about that?
Oh my gosh.
As
I didn't even,
stormtroopers.
like, consider anything like that happening in the
Yeah.
show. I don't know why I didn't think that we'd be seeing stormtroopers, but, like, obviously we see them in The Mandalorian, but, like,
Yeah.
I guess it just shows more and more that that these shows like The Mandalorian and Ahsoka are before the sequels, and the sequels are still
Yeah.
canon, you know, they're
Yeah.
tying all
Yep.
of this together. So, I think we're gonna see more and more things like this as we are filling that gap between the original trilogy and the sequels. We're gonna see more and more hints of, like, what's to come in the sequel. So I guess it
Yeah.
makes sense, but I hope it doesn't look too, like, ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Well, I have a feeling it's gonna be dope. So
Yeah.
the next article kind of speaks a little more to it. But
Mhm.
guess whose like army of stormtroopers this is?
Is it Thrawn?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
So
so cool.
so Thrawn has a bunch of like refurbished stormtroopers, and it's kind of how Ahsoka, Ezra and Sabine, I guess
Mhm.
whenever they reunite, because eventually in the show they're all gonna reunite.
Yeah, mhm.
So they said in the show when they reunite, let me see if I can find the part that said it. Here it is. That when they reunite, there's going to be a new group of soldiers, which is going to be those stormtroopers, and they're kind of going to be like chasing them, trying to get away from them. And they're going to have those glowing gold cracks, armor, and all that stuff. And it was sent by Thrawn, who Thrawn's going to have. Yeah, Thrawn will have the army of those stormtroopers. He'll have this guy that's codenamed Babylon. That's a Jedi that survived Order 66 that turned dark.
What? Oh my
And
gosh.
Shin is his apprentice, and she's a night sister. So basically, like Asajj.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I never even considered anything like that because I thought that the show at least the first season was mainly gonna focus on them finding Ezra because that's where we left them in Rebels.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that since Ahsoka was still looking for Thrawn, it meant that she was still looking for Ezra. So that was just what I assumed would be the plot of the story. But if they find Ezra like early in the season and then this is what they focus on, Thrawn just actually being a villain and then being on the run from him, that's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
So I think, yeah, at first I thought we would get like Ezra at the finale, but like there's a chance we might get him earlier in the season if they're talking
Mhm.
about all this. So that's gonna be just so wild to
I
see. Like,
know.
I can't
One, just
wait.
like everyone in live action.
Yeah,
That's gonna be wild enough.
yeah. Oh
But
no,
to
for
see
sure.
Thrawn leading stormtroopers after Return of the Jedi is just crazy.
Yeah, I just can't wait to hear his voice the first time in live action, just to hear that voice,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
supposedly it's the same voice actor is
Oh,
playing him in live
good.
action,
Yeah,
so it's
good.
gonna sound like him, just
Mhm.
like how they did with Bo-Katan, how she sounds like Bo-Katan because she is Bo-Katan. She even looks like her. That
Mhm.
was like perfect.
I'm
So
glad that they do that a little bit when people do animation, how they kinda base the voice actor well, the voice of the person, they kind of base the animation on the voice of the person a
yeah,
little bit. I
mhm,
like when they do that because then they have the ability to move them into live action and use the same voice actor. Like, I think it's a little bit sad that Ashley can't perform as Ahsoka. I love Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, but
yeah.
it feels different not hearing Ahsoka's voice, you know what I mean?
So
So I like that they do that.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So another rumor I heard, I don't have an article for it, but so for the Ahsoka show, there's going to be flashbacks, and it's going to show like a younger version of her. So they hired.
Mhm.
Did you see that they hired an actress that's going to play her?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I don't know how true this is, but allegedly, since it'll just be for flashbacks and it won't be for a lot of scenes, someone was saying that Ashley Eckstein might voice the young one in flashbacks, which would be insane.
That's insane. I didn't
Could
even consider them doing that because I was like, "I don't know
me
if they'll
neither,
actually do that." That would be so cool.
but it makes
Oh
sense
my
because like
gosh.
they've done stuff like that before. Like Maul
Mhm,
in Solo, it was Sam Witwer voicing it because it was just
mhm,
such a short scene. If it's just flashbacks and
mhm.
she's not going to be talking a lot,
Yeah,
if it's Ashley's voice and it's like a young actress being little snips,
yeah.
oh
I know, and I
yeah,
loved their choice of the actress because she looks just like Ahsoka, at least what
yeah,
I saw in Ahsoka. Like, if you put a picture of the animated Ahsoka next to her, you can see it, and I'm so glad they did that because I it's gonna be so cool, especially if when she opens her mouth, if it's Ashley's voice coming out of her, I
yeah.
don't
It's
even know what I'll do.
Yeah, like that's the internet will go nuts that day if it's
Uh-huh.
true. And hopefully they keep that like a secret. That way it's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, wherever I heard it, I don't know if they were speculating or if they heard something, but like
Mhm.
hearing that it only makes sense. Like, why would you not?
Yeah, it does, especially because, like, there was such a huge conversation of how sad it was that Ashley wasn't getting to continue as
Yeah.
Ahsoka in the live action. I think it would be a nice way for them to kinda pay tribute to her and
Mhm.
say, "Hey, she still is our Ahsoka, and she always was and always will be." So I think it'd be a really cool and easy way for them to incorporate her into the live action and be like, "Hey, this is still her," you know?
And there were rumors a while ago that she was on set at while they were filming Ahsoka, but then I guess like she came out saying, "Oh, she was just visiting, blah blah blah
Uh-huh.
blah blah."
Maybe, like, mentoring Rosario Dawson or something like that,
Yeah,
or,
but she could have
yeah.
been there recording lines as they were recording the scene.
Easily, mhm.
Yeah, so that will be crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if you're ready for this next one, because
I don't know
like,
either.
so there. Let me bring that back up. So the rumor, and this rumor is buck wild. Like, oh, so I'm just gonna scroll down to the there is some old concept art that kind of people are basing it kind of on this and other things that they heard,
Mhm.
but this concept art was never used. It's Ahsoka riding oh, what are they called?
A Loth Wolf?
Yeah, a loth
Y
wolf
Oh my gosh.
with Rex riding a loth wolf. So I guess they said that the people saw on set they had horses on set that they're going to use to like
Oh
CGI
my
to make it look like that.
gosh.
That she might be riding Loth Wolves in the show, right? And the one that she might be riding is his name is Dune.
That makes me wanna cry.
Kanan.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
that makes me wanna cry. I love
Yeah.
Kanan so
So
much.
if
Oh
it's
my
really
gosh.
like the spirit of Kanan in that Loth Wolf, just like in the
Mhm.
show, that's wild.
And that honestly, it makes so much sense because I assume that all of that concept art is stuff that Dave Filoni was thinking up, you know?
Yep.
So
Yep.
and then when he said at Star Wars Celebration, which you were at, when he was like, "We've shot scenes in Ahsoka that I've been thinking about for 5 years." That would make so
Oh,
much
he
sense.
did say that. You're
Yeah,
right.
it would make so much sense. Oh
And
my
you know
gosh,
what?
there's no way.
And you know what else he also said too? I forgot where, but he said he watched the first episode and he said it was like a religious, a spiritual event that he was so emotional. And it can't be more emotional if it starts off with with Ahsoka riding Kanan Dune, the Loth Wolf with Rex.
Mhm.
Like if we get like there's a chance we get live action Rex Tamora with his head shaved and the white beard, old as heck. You know how like crazy that would be if this was like the opening
No.
scene?
Yes, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know if I would cry. I don't know if I would just, like, sit here. I don't think I would ever get over it, never, and it makes sense
Yo,
that he would say that it's like a religious experience because,
yeah,
like, those are his babies, like, those are his
yep,
characters, so that's so exciting. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
So if that happens, oh man,
Oh
oh,
my goodness.
you're definitely gonna
Hey,
want to record your reaction in case that does happen.
yeah,
That'll be
you're right,
priceless,
honestly, you're right. I might have
priceless.
to react to Ahsoka because
Yeah,
I'm getting away with it with Bad Batch right now because there's 16 episodes, and I
it's
just
a
knew
lot.
there's no way. There's
It's a
no way I
lot.
kept up with it. But
Yeah,
with Ahsoka, I feel like I don't wanna miss any of that, like, getting my reaction to that kind of stuff, so but I have one question for you.
yeah.
Do you think that we'll get Zeb? Live action Zeb?
They were just talking about that. I was watching Star Wars Meg's video earlier today. There's
Mhm,
still no info if they got Zeb, if they're gonna do him live action, because they were kind of
mhm.
saying how it might be kind of hard because
Yep,
his design was originally for animated, so they don't
mhm,
know if it would be like CGI or if they would do like a costume like makeup for it. But I mean, I think there's kind of hope because his race was in Fallen Order. He was Cal Kestis's master in the
mhm.
flashback. So that's kind of like almost realistic look of him. So it would be kind of possible, but there's nothing yet about oh, they saw Zeb.
Yeah, mhm,
Yeah. They just confirmed like obviously Ahsoka, the Sabine actress, she came out on
mhm.
stage at Celebration. She's confirmed.
Yep,
The little trailer that we saw, it showed Hera,
yeah, and
Chopper, yeah, Chopper
sorry,
came out
yeah.
on stage.
Mhm,
Ezra, Thrawn. Now, I don't think
mhm.
there's Kanan. I think though, in the trailer, we might have saw like the hand of what's Kanan's son's name? Jason Sindula, the little.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I think it is. Mhm.
So in the little tease that we saw, it kind of showed it looked like a little kid's hand playing with the force, like making stuff move around. Yeah. So if we get to see little Jason Sindula with Hera and all of
With
them,
green hair.
yeah, he looks like Link from Legend of Zelda with his green
Yeah.
hair.
That was,
But
like, the only thing that got me about the Rebels animation. I was like, "Okay, I mean, you could've just made him a Twi'lek, and then he didn't have to
yeah,
have green hair." Like, what are we doing?
yeah. So but yeah, nothing for Zeb. But I kind of feel like, bro, Dave, these are all your babies. Like, why would you
Mhm.
not include him?
Yeah, and I think, so many things are revealed for this show, and Hayden wasn't supposed to be known about, until Rosario accidentally tweeted that, and then cat's out of the bag, everyone knew.
Yeah.
But I feel like they can't reveal everything, so I still feel like there's a chance that Zeb is in it, and even that Kanan is in it, when Ahsoka is seeing all the possibilities, with the world
All the
between worlds.
flashbacks. Yeah.
Yeah, with the world between worlds, nothing is impossible when they're
No.
looking and all that.
So there's actually a video I want to make about the world between worlds. What I
Mhm,
want to see, because you know how like a bunch of the scenarios like kind of leaked for this,
mhm,
and the video I want to make is what if Ahsoka joined Maul at the end of Clone Wars season 7 to try to fight Palpatine? Because remember how Maul was like, "Come join me, we could
Yeah,
take him
yeah.
down." Like,
Uh-huh.
what if she went and they went to go fight him? Like, imagine if we saw that, like a flashback of
Mhm.
that.
Oh my gosh, I never even thought of that. I remember
Me neither.
watching season 7, and I was just thinking, "What if she really went through with that?
Yeah.
How would that work? How would it change? Would it change everything, or would Anakin just kill both of them and that would be it?"
Yeah,
You know?
like, how would that work? But then, like, if her and Maul went to go fight Palpatine, he
Mhm.
would kick their ass. Like,
I think so too. I'm
uh,
glad you said that because I don't think they'd have any chance. I don't think Maul was ever, like, the best fighter when he was
no,
against skilled opponents. I don't think he was the best. But
yeah,
Ahsoka, while she is really, really good and Anakin trained her, there's no way. With Sidious, there just isn't any
yeah,
way.
especially her at that level, because like later on in like Rebels, she's way more like tough.
Yeah.
Like when she's fighting Inquisitors by herself, she took like two
Mhm.
on one like it was nothing. But
Yes.
at that point in the Clone Wars, oh, they would have got lit. Because I mean, yeah, because remember Maul and Savage got whooped by Palpatine.
Uh-huh. Mhm. He gets whipped
So
by Palpatine, he gets whipped by Obi-Wan, by
yeah,
Ahsoka. Guy
yeah,
doesn't win. He just
I
doesn't win.
know. Ah, poor guy.
He's cool though.
So yeah, Ahsoka show, a lot to look forward to.
Mhm.
I'm more the most I'm excited for though is just all the Hayden stuff, the flashback. If we get to see, I think there's also a chance we might see Force Ghost Hayden talking to
Mhm.
Luke and Ahsoka, because like we know Luke and Ahsoka know each other. Maybe we'll see how they like. How the heck did they meet?
Ugh, don't even
Yeah,
tell me that. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know how I
yeah.
would react to that.
Imagine that. Like it's the CGI Mark Hamill, and then Hayden
Uh-huh.
comes and he's like, "Father," like what?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because he sees him in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
So
it's possible.
it is, yeah. I mean, Obi-Wan and Yoda just pop up all the time, so why can't Anakin?
And I would love to see how Ahsoka met Luke, because like it was so cool
Mhm.
that they knew each other. What was that? It was in Book of Boba, right? When we saw
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So that
I
was
just wish that we
awesome.
had seen the initial meeting.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I mean, I know they can't throw all of that stuff in Book of Boba Fett because it was wild that it was in it in the first place, but
exactly.
I
Yeah,
really hope we just get a little bit of how they actually met because that first interaction, can you imagine how many questions Luke had for her about
yeah.
Anakin?
About his father.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like that line she dropped on that episode, I got choked up when she was like, "You're so much like your father," because
I
immediately
know.
in my mind it
Mhm.
just flashed back to all their Clone Wars days and everything.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Um,
And I'm just always thinking, what kind of relationship would Anakin and Luke had had if Anakin never turned to the dark side, you know?
yeah, yeah. So hopefully we get to see that. I
Mhm.
think Dave is gonna come super hard with this show, and I think every episode will be like a banger, like no slow, no filler. It's gonna be like every episode is gonna like break the internet type of deal.
Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, I think you're right because Dave Filoni doesn't miss.
No,
It's just the truth.
it doesn't, and I think he's doing this like by himself. I don't think John's helping him. I think Dave is
Mhm,
like, I got this. Like, hold my beer. I'm doing this
mhm.
type of deal.
I think so too.
So
Am I wrong? I thought that I heard that Bryce Dallas Howard was directing some of the shows. Obviously, Dave's writing everything. I mean, episodes. I thought that I heard in the beginning that Bryce Dallas Howard was directing some of the episodes. I
in
don't know if I'm
Ahsoka.
wrong. Yeah.
I don't know if they've like leaked that yet. I don't remember seeing that. I know
Mhm.
she's doing Mando. I think she has an episode in Mando season 3 because I know she
Mhm.
had
Maybe
it in
that's what
season
it
2.
was. Maybe she's so good. I think she's
She
really, really
is.
good.
And
Mhm.
it's funny, Samuel L. Jackson, I don't know how recent, maybe within the last year, he did an interview and he said that he was on set for some movie or something, and Bryce Dallas Howard was there, and how he was like to her, "Hey, you're doing that Mando show, right?" And she was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can you hook a brother up and put me in there?" But yeah, he said to her if she could write him into Mando to come back as Mace.
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness. That would
Yeah.
because I feel like everyone else comes back, so why not Mace?
Yeah, exactly. He just lost his hand and he fell out a window. They jump all the
Yeah.
time. Like,
Jedi, I mean, everybody in Star Wars falls from a very high up place, and they always survive. If
ex-
Palpatine can survive, then Mace can survive.
exactly. So
Mhm.
that'd be cool to see that. And like, if they did do that, I don't know if they would do that in Mando or if like they did a Book of Boba season 2. Because
Mhm.
imagine if Mace came back and Boba runs into him after he
Yeah.
cut Django's head off.
Mhm.
That interaction, I would want it to be a crazy fight. I don't want Boba to be like, "Oh, I forgive you for
I
killing my dad."
know,
No,
yeah, 'cause you just
no,
don't know with
fight,
how they're
fight to the death, and
yeah.
someone needs to die. Like,
Uh-huh.
come on. So
Oh,
yeah,
that'd be so cool.
yeah. I don't think they're gonna do that though.
Mhm.
But it would be cool just to see Mace come back, man.
It would be. Can you imagine everyone's reaction at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian if it wasn't Luke that came through, if it was a one-armed stinking Mace Windu?
Oh, I never even thought that. That'd be
Can you
kinda
imagine? I
nuts.
did think he's
Yeah.
pretty old, but
Yeah, he'll be
so is
old, but
Ahsoka. Girl is old, like
yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Alright, so the next article I got is a Skeleton Crew. So I guess it's gonna finish shooting next month or March.
Mhm.
So it'll be done shooting. So since it'll be finished by March, there is a chance we might get this show this year. But
Wow.
yeah, but it probably would be like maybe late November, late
Mhm.
December.
Mhm.
So this show seems really, really interesting too. What do you think about this?
I honestly don't even know what to think about this show, but when I saw that it was John Watts directing, I was
Yes.
like, "So it has to be pretty good,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah,
I
yeah. He's
mean, I
fresh off
don't
of No
know.
Way Home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, like, what can he do wrong at this point, you know? Um, I don't really know that much about the plot of the story,
Hmm.
but isn't there someone in it that we know that is a
Ahsoka.
known character? Is she in it?
So, like the plot, there's not much that's known. I don't really know much
Mhm,
about it except for it's a
mhm.
bunch of little kids lost in space, like Stranger Things vibes,
Oh,
apparently.
okay, yeah.
But this takes place in the Mandoverse, and supposedly the story takes place after Mando season 3, after
Mhm.
Ahsoka. She might make a cameo in it, and whatever happens in the show could affect what happens in Mando season 4. So it's all connected. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so that's kind of crazy that how it's part of that universe and like whatever happens in here, you might see some of that in Mando season 4, especially if Ahsoka's in there.
Oh, holy crap, I don't even that's crazy, that'd be
Y-
really cool.
Yeah, so for this, like I don't know what to think, and there's no like leaked trailer or footage. Like
Mhm.
at Celebration, all we got was John Watts actually came out on stage, and we were like, "Oh shoot!" So he came out and he just announced the show. They showed the title, and I
Mhm.
think they said that this guy was in it, but that's all we got.
Dang.
So I don't know if in London at Celebration if we're gonna get a teaser or release info.
Oh,
I
man.
I think we will. I
Yeah.
think we'll get it for this and for Acolyte in London and Ahsoka. Like, I think they're gonna give us trailers or teasers
Mhm.
and like potential dates for all three shows.
I hope so, because I wanna know more about the show. So everything, sometimes the trailers can give a lot away, but I hope
Yeah,
that they at least let us know a little bit more about the plot so I can be more excited about it.
yeah, no, for sure. So yeah. Now the next one I got. Oh, so the Mando season 3 trailer is dropping this Monday. The I guess it's the second trailer for it. So I hope it's new stuff because like so at Celebration we got the same trailer that released recently, like the most recent one of this that released, but we got an extra minute of footage with that trailer. So I'm wondering if they're just gonna kind of release that extra minute of footage or if it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
whole new trailer.
Mhm.
So I guess we'll see. But how hyped are you for this?
I'm so excited. I mean, I think I told you and some of our friends that I didn't want to watch the new trailer
Oh
because
yeah,
watch it because I don't like that trailers give so much away, but honestly, I don't feel like the trailers for Mando have been giving much away. It's kind of a lot of the same thing. So I feel like I can watch this coming trailer and it would be okay. I kinda wanna see a little bit more, but, you can't ask too much, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. And I think Mando, we're gonna get a lot of like cameos. They said there's gonna be like a lot. And I think I want to say I have a feeling Sabine is gonna make her live action debut in this.
Oh,
I
that is a really good prediction,
I
actually.
just have a feeling because like in the trailer, there's so many Mandalorians fighting. He
Mhm.
goes to Mandalore, and it leaked a while ago that there was a scene that they were filming, and there was like 70 Mandalorians on set, all in armor. Like,
And, like,
why would
some of them have to be from Sabine's clan.
clan, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, um, yeah, that's gonna be this. It's gonna be sick. I mean,
Man.
Ahsoka's probably gonna pop up. I think Boba is gonna pop up because
Mhm.
one of the episodes is directed by one of the writers from Book of Boba. So it's kind of like he
Oh.
has to pop up in there.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be cool because, I mean, for the longest time, Boba was the only Mandalorian that we knew, so
Yeah,
it would be cool for him to get involved in this, and it's kind of him connecting to Jango's roots in a way. So I would
yeah,
like for him to go from in season 2 of The Mandalorian, him not caring about Mandalore at all, to him getting invested in it in this season.
yeah.
I think that would be pretty sick.
It would. And then two of the episodes Filoni is directing. So it's like two episodes. So like if Sabine and Ahsoka pop up, it would be in
Uh-huh.
those two episodes, like for sure.
Ooh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. March is gonna be a very tiring month because like
Yeah.
Mando videos, Bad Batch,
Uh-huh.
Jedi Survivor.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't
Uh,
wait.
you're gonna be busy, we're gonna be busy.
All yes. So all right, now I got two quick little videos that so have you heard of Nick Gillard? You know who Nick Gillard is? You
I
know
don't
him,
know
but
who
don't
he.
know him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the stunt coordinator for all the lightsaber fights from the prequels.
Oh my gosh, so he's
So
a great guy.
yeah, he's the guy. So I guess on his YouTube, he's been dropping every now and then videos of like fight scenes that never made it into Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, like alternate
Yeah,
versions of the
uh-huh.
fights. And the two I'm gonna show you, I saw and I was like, yo, why didn't we get that?
Oh, man.
So I'm gonna play this one and then I'm gonna play it back in slow motion to see if you caught the really nasty part of it. But
Okay,
this is an alternate version of Anakin fighting Dooku.
okay, I'm ready. Oh my gosh. Hayden is just so good.
Did you see the crazy part I was referring to?
Yes, yes. Him switching hands with his lightsaber.
Yo, imagine if we so let me play it in slow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, no way.
If we get anything like that because Hayden is so good, I feel like we could see so much more of him dueling. If he does anything like
Right
that
there.
and yes, that is so cool.
Yeah, I saw that and like I was like, oh, blown away. So like I don't think he's involved in stuff now, but hopefully they kind of like reference him or call him for guidance because like
I wish.
if we get an Ahsoka and Anakin fight like the
Mhm,
Battle of the Heroes, hopefully they reference him.
mhm.
So that was the first one. This second one is crazier. Like,
Really?
so this is remember when Mace and like the council came to arrest Palpatine and
Uh-huh.
he fought them, but he just killed them all like super quick. And then
Mhm.
him and Mace had the little longer fight.
Yeah.
Watch this fight. This is just crazy. So with the red blade, that's like
Yeah.
imagine if we would have got that. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
And the purple blade is supposed to be Mace.
Yeah.
But
Can
yeah, it's so
can
awesome.
you imagine? We need that Revenge of the Sith extended cut. We need
Yeah,
everything.
the 4-hour cut that rumored to exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, man. But I think just with the technology back then, because Ian McDermott couldn't move like that, and it probably was
Mhm.
so complicated to try to like put his face on it because that was
Yeah.
2005, 2004. The technology
Mhm.
wasn't like how it is now.
Right.
But if they redid it now, they could have did it and put his face like right on there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of why they cut it. But it's just crazy that they choreographed like all that. Like, look how sick that
Oh
is.
my goodness. I love that he's doing the fights with the actors. I love that.
Yeah,
He
no, for
should be
sure.
one of the Jedi in Ahsoka. Like, if he's that Babylon guy, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's the last video clip I have. Now we're gonna get into the juicy, the Bad Batch
Yes.
episode,
Yeah.
Solitary Clone.
Mhm.
So, how much did you enjoy that episode this past Wednesday?
I loved it. I think it's one of, if not the best Bad Batch episode that we've gotten so far. Even though it's short, even though most of the Bad Batch isn't in it, seeing what happens to the clones, especially Cody. We haven't gotten Cody since season 7 of the Clone Wars, and even before that, it was nothing.
Yeah.
So, just seeing what happened to him after Order 66 is really, really cool.
Yeah. So, I was so hyped when he came on. And like his first at first when I first saw his armor in the trailers back then,
Mhm.
I kind of was like, I wish it was orange still, but it was cool. But then
Mhm.
seeing it like it, I'm like, man, that's badass.
It
Like,
was so cool, yeah.
yeah, so maybe now we'll get more Cody and a lot of him in all these figures.
Yeah.
But his dynamic with Crosshair was just so awesome.
It
Them working
was.
together, yeah, them
Yeah.
working together.
Mhm.
Him kind of like, yeah, I wanted you on my team. I
Mhm.
almost wanted just like a Cody and Crosshair show. Like it was
Mhm.
just so dope.
I thought it was so cool, and it makes a lot of sense because in season 7 of the Clone Wars, they mentioned that they've worked with Cody before,
Yeah,
and it makes sense that they would be familiar with each other and that they would be used to working with each other even a little bit, and I think it's really interesting that Cody said that he on purpose, he reached out and he wanted Crosshair to be a part of his team for the mission, and you
yeah,
could see that Crosshair, for the first time, was acting like he did before Order 66. He was acting like he did when he was normal, you know what I
yeah.
mean?
He felt like he belonged.
Yeah, for the first time,
Yeah,
he was acting like himself, and it looked like he was having fun, they had a lot of chemistry, it was like he was back with his old team. It's the first time we've seen him like that in a long time, and then he was hoping that that would be a new part of his life, because obviously we could see that his life was pretty mundane with the Empire, you know, his
Ye-
everyday life is pretty boring, he obviously
yeah.
even still, the regs still, like, won't sit with him or anything,
I know.
so
I felt so bad when it started when he went to lunch and they just
yeah.
looked at him and they left.
Yeah.
And then, like, even Rampart showed him no respect, saying, "You're not a commander
Mhm.
anymore. You're gonna be working for someone." Like,
Yep. Mhm.
no love, no respect.
Mhm.
And then he was stuck on that platform for 32 rotations.
32 rotations, I couldn't
Yeah,
believe it. I remember
yeah,
thinking at the end of last season, I was just thinking, how is he gonna get off there? How are they gonna even know that he's
yeah.
there?"
So that was crazy. And then even at the end, they still really didn't show him the respect.
Mm-mm.
But when they went to that planet to try to rescue the governor and the other captured people,
Mhm.
seeing the battle droids was awesome.
Yes.
The
Mhm.
rolling droid deckers was awesome.
Yep.
The tanks, the battle droid tanks, like from Phantom Menace and Clone
Yes.
Wars,
Uh-huh.
seeing that was great.
The
Even the
super
super
commandos,
commanders,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
those and those like ninja droids,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah, that was so. I just felt like I was watching OG Clone Wars, like
Yeah,
a
it really
regular
did.
episode.
Mhm.
So it was just so good from beginning to end. It didn't slow down. And
Mhm.
like I screamed at the end when he said Cody went AWOL. I was like, yes,
I was
yes.
literally, my face was like, did he
Yeah,
actually already?
yeah.
He really meant that. You could tell, I think, in the very beginning when Crosshair was like, "Well, then they're all traitors, just like the Jedi." And when Cody kinda gave him that sideways look, you
You
could
could
tell that he
yeah.
could had some certain feelings about it. I just didn't know if he was like, well, they're not traitors for thinking that way, or if he was like, well, I don't really know if the Jedi were traitors. You know, I didn't know which way he was thinking with that.
Me too.
But
I got that vibe there, and then at the
mhm.
end when they talked again before he went AWOL,
Mhm.
but knowing he went AWOL, I like that a lot because it leaves it open for a million possibilities. Because he could
Yep.
show up later this season. If
Mhm.
he doesn't, what are y'all doing?
So cute. Look at
These guys are
them.
knocking stuff down. So he could show up in later seasons of other shows because now we know he's alive. Because I kind of figured he either was gonna die
Mhm.
or like turn like
That's
and
what I thought. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought he was gonna die. I genuinely thought he was gonna want out, but he wasn't gonna make it out and he was gonna die. Either Crosshair was gonna kill him or, like, the Empire was gonna kill him. I really thought that.
yeah. So that's kind of cool. He got away. Now, what would be real dope and emotional is if there was an episode where he finds Rex and they
Uh-huh.
like reunite and they're
Mhm.
like together. Oh, that would
I
just
know.
hit all
That's
the
one of my,
feels.
like, needs from this season. I need to see them together again. That's one of the things I need. I'm not asking for much, you know? It
Yeah.
makes sense that he would go looking for Rex if he doesn't
Yeah.
think he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know Rex is gonna be in it because he was in the trailer. He had a
Mhm.
mission for the Bad Batch. So
Mhm.
I guess we'll see. But I this should have been the first episode. Like, I don't know what they should have came hard with this one. The first two were
Uh-huh.
cool, but like it wasn't like this one. This one was like, damn, like everybody on the
Yeah.
internet's talking about it. Everyone has all these theories.
Mhm.
They should have let off with this one for sure.
I think it is interesting that they let off the series the way that they did because the mission, even though they made it sound kinda serious, it was like it's still the Bad Batch. It's our reintroduction back into the Bad Batch. They're
Mhm.
silly, they still have a fun dynamic and everything. It was a very even though, the stakes were high the whole time, it was a very lighthearted 2 episodes, and then you
Yeah.
get to this one, and we're being reintroduced to Crosshair, like, okay, that's their life. This is Crosshair's life. That's why it's a solitary clone, you know? And
Yeah.
his is so much darker, and I love it. I think it's so great.
So do you think the solitary clone refers to Crosshair over
I
Cody?
do. Yeah, I think I initially thought that it referred to Cody, but since it so much of it focuses on kinda Crosshair just laying in bed, not saying
Yeah.
anything, and they do that twice, him just laying in bed, he's not sleeping, he just stares at his gear, he goes to sit with people and no one will sit with him, and then even at
Mhm.
the end when he's like, "Why am I not reporting to Commander Cody?" And he's like, "He went AWOL." So he's really still alone. He's still alone. So I think that Crosshair is the solitary clone.
Yeah, at first I thought it'd be Cody.
Mhm.
After watching it, I was leaning more towards Crosshair, but now I'm
Mhm.
kind of like I think it's referring to both of them because
Mhm.
Cody is solitary in the way that he thinks because he's not thinking like
Yeah,
everyone else,
that's true.
and then he just left. So I kind of think when they titled it, it's like oh, it's for both of them because they're both
Yeah.
solitary like in their
Mhm.
own way. And then that shot that Crosshair had at the end, that trick shot,
So cool.
so fire. And
Oh my
then
goodness.
he's still a savage when he shot that girl though, after
I
she
can't
kinda like
believe him. Like, what's the
yeah,
matter with
yeah, and
I don't
that moment was deep too, because like, he was
Mhm.
telling Cody, kill her now," and he was like, "No, he didn't,"
Yeah.
and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, snap."
I
So
knew that Crosshair was just gonna be like, "Okay," and
boom,
absolutely
yeah,
offer. So,
he
I do you think that so Cody obviously now he's not following every single order that they give them. And we saw that Hauser was also not following every order that they gave them, but obviously both of them still have their chips. Hauser, maybe his chip malfunctioned, because he has that scar and everything.
yeah,
But with Cody, do you think that after Order 66, the chip is just like, even though it's there, it
mhm.
just doesn't work anymore? And maybe it malfunctioned in Wrecker because it never went off for him, so it was just like a delayed reaction. But for the ones that already executed Order 66, do you think that the chip just, like, doesn't have an effect on them anymore?
I don't know, and I hope they address that, because like,
Mhm,
maybe it does kinda, like, fizzle and it's done afterwards, or maybe
mhm,
it's only if it's a Jedi, because like, that's what it was o execute Order 66 was kill all the Jedi,
mhm,
so, like, them ordering Cody to shoot that girl, she's not a Jedi, and
yeah,
stuff like that, so it'll be interesting to see if we see a Jedi and they order a clone to kill that Jedi, if they
mhm,
do it or don't do it. but I don't know. I think it's up in the air. Hopefully they address it, but
I hope so too. There's just so much that we don't know because when Wrecker's chip went off, there was no Jedi. He just tried to kill everyone
oh yeah, he
because
did go buck wild.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he just went off on everybody because he knew that and he knew that they were AWOL. So he just like, you didn't execute Order 66, so I'm gonna kill all of you, you know? It's weird. I hope they address more of the chip because we're seeing these clones and we're like, well, why doesn't the chip work anymore?
Yeah.
I think we just need a little bit more of an explanation.
I think whatever episode Gunji is in, the little Wookiee Jedi,
Mhm.
he's not gonna be the only Jedi in that episode. He's not running around by
Mm-mm.
himself, that little guy.
Mm-mm. I don't think so
So
either.
so maybe we'll see it in that episode. So I'm excited to see that too, because he's just
Me
so cool.
too. He
A little
is.
a little Wookiee Jedi.
Uh-huh.
And did you see in the Acolyte leaks that there's a Jedi Wookiee?
Yeah, and he was like this
Yeah.
super tall guy, and some
Yeah.
people thought that he was the one from the High Republic because, they can be super old.
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
some people
yeah.
were like, maybe it's not. I don't know. People were debating whether it was that one Wookiee that's like on the cover of all the High Republic
I
books.
It probably is because this
Yeah.
takes place at the end of the High Republic, and he's wearing like goldish Jedi robes that look High
Mhm.
Republic-ish. So I'm just hyped to see him light a lightsaber in live action and do like a little Wookiee roar before he fights.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
so cool. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But what other Jedis do you think we might see in Bad Batch? Because we
Hmm.
have 13 more episodes. That's a
Mhm.
lot. That is
It
a
is.
lot.
It is a lot, it really is. I don't know if we could possibly see Rex hanging around with Ahsoka, maybe just in the background, he could be, like, in the middle of a transmission with her, and you can just see her hooded, and he cuts it off
Yeah.
and moves on to them or something like that.
That'd be so cool.
But when I saw this somewhere else and someone was like, "Slow the trailer down right before the scene with Gunji,"
Mhm.
Omega is talking to some other kids, and one of the kids looks like that one boy, I forget his name. The one boy, the episode that Gunji is from, all those other younglings that are with him, the
Yeah, they go to
main
Alum to
little
get
boy.
their
Yeah,
crystal.
to get their crystals. The main
Uh-huh,
little boy that's like the
uh-huh.
troublemaker,
Yeah, yeah.
it kinda looks like him that Omega's talking to in the trailer.
Oh, we
So
might get that
maybe
whole group of kids because there was,
yeah,
like, 4 or 5 of
maybe
them.
maybe some of them survived. I don't know. It would make sense because
Dang.
they were inseparable. So, I don't know. I think
I
that'd
n
be super cool.
I need to rewatch that episode soon, that way it's fresh in my
Mhm.
head. Because it was, like, 4 or 5 of those kids. That'd be kinda
Uh-huh.
cool to see if they survived.
Mhm. It would be really cool. And
Yeah.
there's I don't know if I get the species wrong, I'm sorry. That Ithilien species, the guy that has, like, the rounded head, that youngling that
Oh,
was
I
also a
think
Jedi,
yeah, yeah.
he'd
Oh,
be cool.
yeah,
Yeah, he'd
yeah.
be really cool.
So, yeah, we'll see. I hope we get some cool stuff like that. Hopefully we get Ahsoka
Mhm.
in there. I'm hoping that we get some Maul, not just because I love him, but just because like it drives me crazy because I want to know what happened between Clone Wars season 7
Mhm.
and the next time we see him, he's in Rebels, old as hell, hiding in that Sith temple.
Yeah.
So, like,
I
what happened?
Do
What
you
happened?
remember when people were talking about rumors that there was gonna be an animated mall show?
Yeah, maybe I heard something like that, but like,
Of course, it's
I
just
wish.
rumors, but I
I
hope that
wish.
it's covering that time period. If it is real, I hope it's covering that time
Yeah.
period. Be really
It
cool.
it'd be awesome. And then like in Rebels, when Maul is there, that the Twilight of the Apprentice, those
Mhm.
episodes where Vader comes and like I'm pretty sure when Vader comes, Maul is like, oh my god, he's here, and he just dips because he's scared of
Uh-huh.
Vader.
He
I
is.
I want to see why. Like we've never seen any interaction with them. So I would
Mm-mm.
love to see why Maul is terrified of Vader.
That's true,
'Cause
I didn't think of that.
yeah, he probably tried to fight him, got his ass whipped, and like and is
Yeah,
hiding. But
yeah.
I still would want to see that.
Me too.
So that's what I want to see. Maul. I want to see Ahsoka in
Mhm.
this, and then just more clones, more like random clones, like
Mhm. We still haven't seen Wolf, and I
Wolf,
feel like
Wolf,
we could.
and it was what Wolf and
Mhm.
Gregor were the ones that
Yep.
were with Rex and Rebels.
Uh-huh.
Like, can we see Rex find them, take their chip out, and
Yeah.
recruit them?
Mhm. Like, we
Because
see Gregor, like, Gregor we got
yeah,
Gregor. Now we wanna see Wolf, because Wolf was with Flo. and he's like our last connection to Plo Koon. And I wanna
Yeah.
know if Wolf is gonna be like, "I killed him, and I can't get over that," you know? Yeah.
Oh,
Even though
that'd be
maybe it
so
wasn't
deep.
Wolf, but, like, he had to
Yeah.
give the order to kill him, you know?
Wow. Yeah, we'll see. And then I think it's gonna lead to some cloning stuff because remember the first season ended at that cloning facility.
Yeah, mhm.
So we might see some stuff with that. And do you think Omega is like force sensitive?
They imply it heavily. At least that's
Yeah.
the way I take it in the first season. I think they heavily imply it. She picks up a blaster and fires it perfectly the first time she ever picks it up.
Yep.
She knew what that little creature's name was before they even named it. And, like, she connects with everyone. She knows what everyone's feeling. She knew what Crosshair was feeling the whole time through that
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah,
I
yeah.
I think she
Yeah.
maybe is, and she just doesn't know it.
Even when she was at Sid's gambling, like she's never gambled and she's there
Mhm.
winning all that money.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely something special about her because that's why like the Kaminoans like always kept her there and
Mhm.
she doesn't age the same. Like she saw the Bad Batch from little babies up until grown men. So like her
Yeah.
aging is regular, if not slowed down.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with her. What sucks is I don't think we're gonna see her meet Boba Fett this season because I
I
think
know.
someone like interviewed or asked the writers and stuff, and they said
Mhm.
that no, that's a possibility, but not in this season.
Mm.
But that'll be crazy when Omega meets Alpha Boba.
I
So
know. I wonder what that meeting would even be like, you know?
yeah,
I
and
don't
like
know.
I kind of want it to be when they're older in live action. That way, like Book of Boba season 2, like he finds his sister. Like how
That'd be
crazy would
cool.
that be?
That
Yeah,
that would be insane. I
yeah.
kind a lot of people thought that would happen in the first season of Book of Boba Fett, but I just don't think we've gotten enough of Omega yet
To
for it
do
to
that,
mean
yeah,
more, you know?
yeah. So yeah, but excited for the rest of it. Any other thoughts on Bad Batch?
I don't know. Like, let me check my notes just in case. Let me see. Just to mention one thing, I like that they are focusing more on obviously a big thing about the first season, everyone was disappointed that Tech and Echo kind of were pushed to the background. And
Oh
I like
yeah,
that they're carrying I mean, in one of the episodes in the first season, Echo was like, "We have to go get Gregor. We have to save him. It's what we
yeah,
do. It's what you did for me." And that's kind of carried into this season. Echo's like, "We're soldiers. This is what we're supposed to do. We have to do more with our lives." And Hunter's like,
yeah,
"No, we have to take care of Omega. It's not the best for Omega." And Echo is like, "No, that's not right, you know? Just because we
yeah,
have Omega doesn't mean we stop being soldiers." So I like that there's a conflict there between Echo and Hunter, and I don't know if that's gonna become, like, a big argument
mhm,
or if Echo's just gonna pressure Hunter into, they just kind of fall into the situation where they end up fighting the Empire on a bigger scale. I hope so. I think it'd be cool.
I think there was rumors that supposedly Echo at the end of the season was gonna kind of leave the Bad Batch. So like
Ooh.
if that's true, it could be something like that. If there's like a
Uh-huh.
conflict with
It
that.
crossed my mind because in the final season of the Clone Wars, Rex is like, "If you feel that's your place, then go." But
Yeah,
now if he was feeling in season 1, he was like, "Rex needs us, it's Rex, I
yeah,
trust him.
yeah, yeah,
This is what we do." So if he feels that now that's where he's supposed to be is with Rex, then he might just go back with him, which would be amazing. I would
yeah.
love if he went back with Rex.
No, for sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you think they're gonna do more seasons of Bad Batch?
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
know if they can wrap at least one more. I don't know if they
Hmm.
can wrap up everything in just this season because Crosshair is still with the stinking Empire. Unless he dies at the end of this season, I don't know if they can. I know there are 16 episodes. I don't know if they can wrap up now that they added the cloning situation into it. I don't know if they can wrap up,
Yeah.
the clone uprising and the literal cloning of what will be Palpatine. And I don't know if they can wrap all of that up in just one season. I hope there's more because I'm obsessed with it. And it's 16 episodes of the Clone Wars style animation. So
Yeah, it's basically more Clone Wars, so I'll
yeah.
take it. if they don't, I would want another animated show that's basically just another version of Clone Wars, more Clone
Yep,
Wars.
like Tales of the Jedi.
Oh, Tales of the Jedi. It was so funny because after I watched it, I was like, I am not watching any more Andor. Because
Uh-huh.
like how I felt after watching it was so
Yeah.
happy and
Uh-huh.
satisfied.
I agree.
And then like I was like, I can't do this Andor. Andor doesn't make me feel
Mm-mm.
that way. Like I
No,
can't.
it doesn't. It just didn't feel Andor didn't feel like Star Wars to me, and some people might think that's like an L take and that if you don't get Andor, then you're just not mature enough to understand it, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people enjoyed Andor so much,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Andor could never make me feel the way that Tales of the Jedi made me feel. Never.
No,
Not ever.
yeah. I mean, Andor is different, and for people to enjoy it, that's cool.
Mhm.
But for me, it's not my cup of tea. And
Mm-mm.
like there were very few parts in Andor that I enjoyed, but yeah, it's just not for me. I just need when I think Star Wars, I need more Star Wars stuff.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. And
that's
it doesn't
just me.
necessarily mean Jedi, it just means things that feel more like Star Wars, you know? I don't know. I
Aliens, there's barely any
yeah,
aliens in
there's
there.
no
Yeah.
aliens in
Yeah.
Andor, which is really weird, and I also feel like the story didn't need to focus on Andor to be told. I feel like it could have just been like the rise of the rebellion or the birth of a rebellion, and it could have been fine. I don't think it needed to focus on Andor at all. I really didn't like that it was difficult to connect with Cassian Andor, and he's the main character, and I did not care about him at all, which is, harsh to say, but, like, the whole series, you don't see a human moment of with him, you know what I mean? He's just this
Yeah.
hard, cold guy, even after his mom dies. The whole time, he's the same guy, you
With
know?
with Andor, it was funny because before it came out, I was telling people that, yo, this show could be better than Mando. And the reason why I said that, no, listen though to why,
No,
because
yeah,
like
yeah.
if what would have happened is what's in my Star Wars brain, it
Mhm,
could have been because in my brain, I'm like, okay, this is the most insane period of Star Wars time
mhm,
because everybody is in their prime and alive.
mhm,
Vader, Palpatine, Maul's running around, Ahsoka's running around, Obi-Wan, Rex, Saw,
mhm.
everybody's alive and in their prime running around. So I was thinking it could be like have a bunch of crazy stuff,
Yeah,
Inquisitors, this,
mhm.
that. Now, but they went a different way, which is fine. But like, say if Filoni did it, it just would have been live action Clone Wars Bad Batch, like
Yeah. Yeah,
craziness. So
and I don't mind that. It was its own thing, and it really didn't have any, recurring characters like, Saw Gerrera, like, already established characters. I don't mind that at all, that it was a lot of new characters, and I loved the Mon Mothma stuff. That was my favorite
yes,
storyline, was the Mon Mothma stuff.
not
The stuff
enough
that's actually happening in the Senate, which I feel like we never saw things
wasted
happening in the Senate.
opportunity.
We never saw it. Like, we saw her talking in there and no one listening, but we never got to see Palpatine in the Senate, which
Yeah,
blows my mind. It actually blows my mind that we never saw that.
I was thinking we would have got that,
Mhm,
or they teased that dinner party and we
mhm.
never got like that dinner party either. So I think it was just super stretched out. I think it would have been more solid if it was condensed because like the first three episodes should have been one episode. Then the
Yeah.
next three could have like it should have been cut down, but
Mhm.
I mean that's fine. But Tales, I hope they do more like a
Me
second
too.
season,
Mhm,
or they do Tales of the Sith, and we get to see like young Palpatine, young
mhm.
Maul, like anything,
Anybody. We could get
anybody,
Revan.
anybody. So,
Mhm.
and at first I thought I wasn't gonna like how they were just so short, but literally it was all killer, no filler, like every
Yeah,
episode right to the point. And like
exactly.
and that Yaddle episode, oh, that
Oh my
fight,
gosh, they
the
made us love
music.
Yaddle in literally 2 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
crazy,
in
in 2
it's insane.
little mini episodes, and I was already, like, so sad for Yaddle. And I was sad for
Yeah.
Yaddle, and she had, like, 10 minutes of screen time, maybe, and I was not connected to Cassian Andor in the, what, 12 hours? 12
Yeah.
hours that he had in that show. It it just shows that there's nothing that can compare to stuff like that,
Yeah, no, for sure. What do you think about? Are you excited for that Acolyte show?
I am, because it looks sick, and it's
Yeah,
like nothing we've ever seen before. I don't It's a time period that we haven't talked about that much.
yeah,
So and it's all new characters, which I love. We love the fresh blood. I think it'll be refreshing to see, especially to see a whole new time period. It's actually rare that we see a time period where Palpatine isn't the big bad.
yeah,
Very rare that we see that.
yeah. That's
So,
true.
even in The Mandalorian, Palpatine is being revived, through in
Yeah,
the background, Palpatine's still keeping everything together. I mean, he
yep,
said he was the one that created Snoke. So, it's always Palpatine, it always has been, but
yeah.
in Acolyte, I mean, I don't know if Palpatine's alive. I think it's way back, right?
It's
Acolyte
it's
is
a
way
it's 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Okay, yeah, so he can't be alive. He
Yeah,
can't
no,
be.
he's not alive, but I think a part of the show is to kind of show how the Sith infiltrate the Jedi. Because when we get to Phantom Menace, they're already established
Mhm,
in there. I think the show is going to show how they get in there behind the scenes, kind of deal, which would be interesting to see
mhm,
is how they're in there.
it would.
And
Mhm,
also, I think there's going to be a ton of lightsabers because, like, there's so many leaked pictures of like 3 or 4 different Jedi's. There has to be a bunch
mhm.
of red bladed Sith, like acolyte people. So
Yeah,
it's
mhm,
going to be
'cause that was
fun to
back
see that.
when the Sith and the Jedi were, like, 2 huge groups fighting
Yeah,
against each other. It wasn't just the rule of 2 wasn't in place yet, if I think that's true, like, the rule of 2
yeah.
wasn't there yet. So there was all these Sith against all these Jedi, and there's just so many endless possibilities of what we get to see in that show. So I am very excited for it.
For sure. All right. So next up, I have just one item. There wasn't a lot of like new stuff coming out that I could find,
Mhm.
but this item is sick, super sick. It's the new Obi-Wan Hot Toys, the Clone Wars. So it's Hayden's head sculpt on the animated Clone Wars body.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this thing is beautiful.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah. So like if we were to ever see flashbacks of Hayden and Obi-Wan from
Mhm.
Clone Wars in live action, it would look like this.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it gets into some crazy sick poses. Like look at that. And you could plug it in and the lightsaber lights up.
Man.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. It
That's
has
sick.
yep.
I'm so glad they did that, because even if we don't get them in live action like that, at least we have this. We get to see it at least a little bit.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah. And there's a shot of it with the
Wow.
Anakin, which I have that Anakin, and it's Hayden's head sculpt on the Clone Wars armor body Anakin, which is so dope.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, I kinda really want those.
yeah. But the thing that sucks, I think they just showed it, but it doesn't release till maybe the end of the year, if not
Mm.
2024. So you got a long wait ahead of you for this.
Oh, man. I guess I have a long time to save up then.
Yeah, yeah. It is a little pricey, but all the Hot Toys are. I think it's 279 retail.
Mm.
So, and then the eyeballs, you can roll them. There's like a rolling function, so you could have them looking in whatever direction. So, however you have them
What?
set up on your display, you can have him looking straight, looking to the left, looking to the right, looking up, looking down. You could really customize it to make it look insane.
That is so weird and so cool at the same time.
Yeah, no, it is for sure. So, yeah, that is the last thing that I have.
They look so good.
Yeah, they look so awesome together. So, I can't wait for that bad boy to come out.
Oh, man, and I know you're gonna be on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want
Yeah.
to, but
I mean, you
all
have to, though.
right. So, anything else you got? Any other topics?
I don't think so. We actually covered a lot more than I thought we would, and I'm really glad that we did.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, what do you have coming up next for your channel?
So I am going to start doing breakdowns. I think I mentioned that in the
Mhm.
beginning. I'm gonna do breakdowns because I'm not doing reactions for the Bad Batch, so I'm kinda gonna, like, pull the highlights from the episodes and just
Nice.
give my thoughts and reactions, and I kinda like that more because when I was doing reactions, I would film my initial thoughts afterward, and then I would go back and watch the episode, and there are just so many things that you miss the first time you watch
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna, like, have all my thoughts together, I'm gonna have so many things to talk about, and I just really love being able to discuss everything with people in the comments because so many people see things that you don't see. So I'm excited to do
Yeah.
Bad Batch breakdowns.
No, for sure, for sure. Awesome. All right, so again, guys, I'm gonna put Laney's info in the description below. Subscribe and add her now, and that's gonna be it for this episode. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Let's say we can say bye one more time, and I'll edit it. So because you froze and it looked
That was great.
awkward.
I hope
Yeah.
I didn't freeze there at the end.
No, no, you did, you did, you did. So we could just say bye one more time, and I'll just edit it in the right way. Oh, you're still frozen though. Oh no. Yeah, you're frozen
Oh
solid.
man. Oh, that sucks.
It'll probably clear up in a second. Because for most of it, you were pretty good.
We're good?
So most of the show, you were pretty good. Every now and then, it would kind of freeze, but it was still kind of play through. I
Yeah.
think you're getting better now.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay.
All right, all right. Bye, guys.
Bye.